Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to On the Spot Motorsports Media. Tonight, by phone, we have Ben Whiting. He's joining us. He's having some internet connection problems due to the weather out his way. So we're going to do this by the telephone and be talking about the Gatortown Throwdown. That's right. That's the bracket race that has happened this weekend at Gainesville Raceway. And we're going to talk about all the different classes that are going to be ran, and also a thing called the Golden Nugget. So we're going to talk about that as well. But before we get started tonight, we would like to, showcase our sponsors that make everything happen for us. And to start that off, we're going to talk about Team GRE. That's right, Goolsby Racing Enterprises. Hey, they do wraps on boats, cars. They do lettering for stores, signs, you name it. Goolsby Racing Enterprises can take care of you. You can give them a call at 352-870-7258. Also, on the spot lawn maintenance. Hey, that's right. That rain is starting to fall and the grass is starting to grow. It's springtime. Hey, if your yard needs a mow, give them a call at 904-966-1633. Also coming up is the 352 shootout that's going to take place in October now instead of this weekend. It had to be moved due to scheduling changes that had happened. So that will take place on October the 27th through the 28th.
Hey Tornado fans, this is Kurt Miracle of Miracle Automotive and Towing, proud sponsors of Tornado Football. I want to welcome you to beautiful Stark, Florida at David Hurst Stadium, and thank you for letting us be a part of this community. We're here for more than your automotive and towing needs. We're here to be part of Tornado Country. Go Big Red!
60 years of innovation, 60 years of attention to detail, 60 years of rigorous testing under race conditions is what makes ATI Performance Products great. ATI has been helping racers like you reach the finish line first. Today, we manufacture a wide range of high-performance parts that are track-tested and race-proven. We're passionate about performance, and that passion is what drives you to the finish line first. See everything ATI has to offer at ATIRacing.com.
Hey, and last but not least, if you like On the Spot Motorsports Media, hey, check out our sister show that comes on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock, On the Spot with David Rogers. They talk about politics. They talk about all local news and happenings. And with no further ado, on the telephone, we have Ben Whiting joining us. He is the promoter of this Gatortown Throwdown that is happening this weekend at Gainesville Raceway. Ben, thank you for joining us tonight. Sorry you cannot come on here with the video due to the weather and your internet connection. But, hey, we always make something happen. If we can't get you on, we'll just get you on the telephone.
Thank you for having me.
Well, first of all, how did this Gatortown Throwdown all get started? I know, the 352 shootout was moved to back to its usually original date in October, and that kind of freed up some space at the end of this month.
About a month ago, I was speaking to Derek Putnam, and that's when he was making the decision that, he had some scheduling conflicts, and he was very adamant that he wanted to make sure that Gainesville was doing something, a good event on this weekend, if he had to move the 352 shootout. And it went from one day of us prepping for his race to the next day of putting on a race. And but no, I got to say thank you to Derek Putnam. Derek is a class act. He had the scheduling conflicts. He was not going to be able to put on the show that he wanted to put on, and the way he holds the 352 to its standards. And kudos to him for stepping up and making his show great, and then for allowing us to do this.
Well, I'll tell you, you've got a couple of classes. You got no box and box, and you're also going to be running juniors at this event. And I actually stopped by the track this afternoon to talk to the track manager, and because I want to bring my equipment up there Friday afternoon and get pretty much all of it set up for Saturday.
You doing burnouts in the parking lot?
I might do one. But anyway, I walked in and I was able to see the trophies that y'all are going to be giving out to the winners of those classes. And man, they are some neat looking trophies.
Them are some cool little trophies. I was when I seen them, I was like, I've got to have those.
Yeah, I tell you, I was very impressed the way they look. They're sharp, very representative of the race that's going to be going on this weekend. To get into it a little bit, can you tell us a little bit about this golden nugget thing that's going on?
Gator nugget. It is just
okay.
It's a harebrained idea. It's a re-entry nugget. You can use it. It's going nothing be but a secondary run sticker. If you get beat first round, you can use it. If you get beat re-entry round, you can use it to get back in the race. And that goes first round, re-entry round, second round, third round. If you purchase this before first round of eliminations, if you get beat before fourth round, you can use it to get into the next round. It's just a multiple buyback, but you've got to make the commitment before the race starts that you're going to need a re-entry.
What is the price for that?
It's $75.
Okay, not too bad, especially if you go a couple of rounds and you get deep into that third round and that luck just doesn't go your way. You can actually use that to help you get to the fourth round, and you never know what's going to happen after that. You can actually go on from there and win the race.
That was the driving force behind it. I'm a second round bride. I do good when I can buy back, but as soon as I can't buy back, I start doing terrible racing. So I was like, hey, how can I do it to where I've got an extra chance?
I hear you. Now, you got some payouts. They're all 100% payouts, correct? Ben, are you still with us?
I got you. I lost you momentarily, but I got you.
All right. Can you kind of talk a little bit about the payouts?
On the SAC combo, it's $5,000 to win, $1,500 runner up, $500 to the semis. We're going to run box and no box classes separate, as long as we can. The last remaining no box car is going to get a $500 bonus. If the last remaining no box car wins it all, I'm going to throw another $500 on top of it. So if a no box wins it all, they're going to win $6,000.
Wow, that's a nice little bonus to tag on to the top of that. It really is.
And then junior dragsters are running for $500 with 100 runner up. And then our Trailer King race on Friday night is it's just going to be 70% of the entry fee, depending on however many cars we've got. It also is going to be run as two different categories, box and no box. And Mark Horton has generously donated some money, so we're going to throw an additional $250 for each category, box and no box, on top of the 70% to the winner.
Now, how that works is they bring their cars in on a trailer, they pull them off, no time runs, they have to figure out what their dial-in is going to be, and that's that's how it's going to run.
It's a no-time trial bracket race. The caveat to it is there's also going to be no scoreboard or no time slip. So if you win first round, all you know is you won first round. You're not going to know how or why. You're just going to know you won, and you got to come back to the lanes for second round and try it all over again.
Wow, that's going to make a lot of people do a lot of scratching their heads. You know, they don't know if they broke out by a little, broke out by a lot, or they ran way slower than what they normally run their dial. So that's going to be pretty wild in itself.
Yeah, and that to me is what makes this interesting and fun. We're going there's going to be some driving.
There's definitely going to be some people looking over in the other lane, getting down near the traps. I can promise you that. They're going to be staring at each other, which makes great racing. You know, close racing when you have that going on, and you're going to see some pretty neat techniques going on.
Yeah, I think you will, and I've been at the track every day this week, and I got to give Corey and Mike Poole and the crew at Gainesville credit. Even though the weather looks terrible, and I've got no video service because the weather is terrible at my place right now, but Corey has got the track on spot right now. I think we're going to have as good a racing surface as we've had. Mike Poole was out today checking rollout, making sure everything's where it's supposed to be, and those guys amaze me at the extra work they put in to make a good show.
Well, I got a question for you right here. Corky Alfred wants to know, are the red lights going to show?
Yes.
So if they do go red on Friday night, the red light will come off in that lane.
The red light will show you. You just won't know how bad you went red.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate that. So how many are you expecting? I know that you have been worried about the weather, and I'll tell you what, the weather for Saturday is looking a whole lot better than what it did earlier this week as I looked at it early this morning.
I think the forecast has changed 25 times over the course of the week, and that's probably because I'm looking at it every hour. But, hey, we're going to make it a go. We're going to give it a go. Bring a poncho with you if you decide to come. We might get a little wet, but we got track drying equipment, and we're going to do all we can.
Also, got another question. Is deep staging going to be honored? Or is it going to be pretty much like the bracket race? It's up to you to get in there and deep stage your car.
It's going to be just like the bracket race. How is it? It's going to be allowed, not honored, not allowed. I don't know how the verbiage of it goes, but it's your responsibility if you're deep staging to get in there and make sure you're deep before auto start kicks in.
Okay. That's a good question because, you know, that has kind of changed a little bit where, you know, you don't hold the other person up in case they're getting up on the converter and sitting there waiting for you to wait till the other car gets in deep before the tree's activated.
Correct.
So I kind of figured that's the way it was going to go. So the best thing to do if you're going to deep stage is go ahead and do your burnout, roll in there and put the two bulbs on. Still have deep written on your vehicle. And
it has to be written clearly
right
on the side of the vehicle.
Right. And after that person, the next person goes up there and he pre-stages, that's your cue to go ahead and get in deep before they light the bottom bulb. That's the way I would do it. So you're not caught in a situation that gets you burned.
Let Corky know if he's watching. I got a Miller Lite waiting on him when he gets to the track on Friday.
He is definitely watching, and both of those questions came from him, which are very good questions, by the way. But yeah, talking about the weather, it is looking a whole lot better, and I hope it continues that trend. And I'm hoping for a great turnout. and he's laughing out loud about that. Now, with this race, this is separate from the No One Fights Alone. So wanted to make that kind of clear. But, you have that race coming up in December, and you're probably already preparing for it.
Yeah, that is, I'm well into that. While this race is separate from it, it's tied into it all together. This race is really being put on to help finance the December race. I want to grow the December race, make it bigger and better than it was last year. And but I literally donated every penny that we had from the December race to St. Jude's. And so we figured we put on this little race to try to raise some money to be able to buy a little bit better raffle prizes and offer a little bit of other stuff. So in the grand scheme of it, this race is going to the December race to keep it going as well.
Okay, that's a great thing right there. And I tell you, I bet that hospital was thrilled when y'all gave them the money that was raised off the No One Fights Alone race. And I know that it means a lot to you. It means a lot to you as well with your child going through that.
Yeah, it was just overwhelmed. Still to this day, 4 months later, almost 5 months later, the racing community is just an awesome group of people. You pull up beside somebody on the starting line and they're ready to cut your head off. But when it comes to something like that, people just stepped up and donated their winnings and that just donated and made this such a great first event. Had no idea that year one could be this good. And hats off to the racing community, everybody that participated, the sponsors. I had some awesome sponsors. Billy Highhouse at First Coast Electric. Can't say thank you enough to them. Brian Jones at Brian Trailer Sales. We're going to change it to Blaze and Blake Trailer Sales because Blake is just tearing up the junior dragster scene right now. So
yeah,
I want to change FB Trailers to BB Trailers.
And congratulations to him. He actually walked away with a Wally up there at Silver Dollar this past weekend at the divisional race.
Yeah, so Blake's is tearing it up. But we had so many sponsors. G&D Hydrodip, ATI. I'll forget 99% of them. Spartan Towing. But sponsors were great. The people were great. Like I said, Billy Highhouse and his whole family and First Coast Electric, they blew me away when they approached me about wanting to be the title sponsor. And it was much more than a sponsor from Billy and that crew. It was a partnership. It wasn't a sponsor. It was a partnership. And we'll forever be grateful for the friendship that we built with that race and that carries on today. Can't say enough.
Well,
can't say enough for Ken Grant. He stepped up with some great donations, and the race this weekend, Ken Grant's the main sponsor of the No Box race. He called me up and said, I don't see any name beside the race. And I went, no, I don't have a sponsor for it. It's last minute. He just kind of chuckled and he says, well, I guess my name better be beside it. Anybody that knows Ken Grant knows how Ken Grant is. So cool. Kudos to Ken Grant. Keith Collins sponsoring the junior dragsters this weekend. Spring Hill Silage doing the showdown races this weekend to Saturday. That's going to be some amazing cars. I've swore to secrecy on a couple of the cars that's coming, but going to be some amazing cars. And then we got L&S Trailer Repair, Greg Lubin being, taking care of the Friday night deal for us. And been very, very blessed with the people that have joined in with JMA over the last year.
Well, I tell you what, we're happy that we're going to be live streaming this event on Saturday. Even went out and bought a new laptop. We're constantly upgrading equipment to try to make things better for those to view that can't make it out to the track. But I'm telling you, if you live in a local area, and sometimes people are just curious about bracket racing because they just don't fully understand it, come out there and sit in the stands and watch these guys and gals do battle. And yeah, I said gals. We have a lot of females that participate in our sport, and they're just as eager to cut off your head than a guy in the next lane.
I'll be honest, I would rather face most of the gentlemen that we race with as opposed to some of the young ladies we race with, because those women that we race with, they are seems like they're out for blood a lot of times when you pull up beside them on the starting line. Don't take any of them lightly. They're some tough racers.
Yeah, I won't be racing this weekend. Unfortunately, I'm going to be behind the monitor the whole entire time to make sure everything is going smoothly. And I can even tell tonight with this interview that we have not dropped at all of a connection through this. So I'm really extremely happy about that. That just means, better and great things are going to come. And hopefully we'll even get another computer. I mean, not another computer, but another camera further down track in the future. And so we'll have 3 cameras, and maybe in the future we can also buy a switcher where we can have the cameras on a full screen instead of on 3 screens at the same time. But we're just slowly working toward that to help out all the race promoters and the families that want to watch their loved ones race.
Well, and I can't go without saying it. Probably the greatest thing for me that's happening this weekend, Brendan George is making his debut behind the microphone.
Oh, yes. It's going to be quite entertaining.
Hey, anybody that knows Brendan George knows what we're up for. And I think we are going to have the most electric, the most exciting PA system going that we're fixing to shake up the racing world. And that's what I'm ready for. There's going to be some good racing, but I'm ready for the PA system to go live with Mr. 056 himself.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't crack me up too much over there in the other booth, because everyone will hear me laughing behind the keyboard. So it's good. It's definitely going to be quite entertaining. Charlie Poindexter said it's going to be a comedy show.
It would only be a true comedy show if we had Charlie Poindexter up there as well. It could probably go R-rated very quick, but if we could get Charlie and Brendan up there together, Paramount Pictures would probably be calling for the remake of that Christopher Lloyd and Jim Carrey movie that was so popular.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to get my popcorn ready if that happens.
that would be some interesting.
Charlie says, "Easy now, easy." Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it, and I want people to come out and support this. We need to support race promoters and our tracks. I say it all the time, and this is one great event that is happening. I'm just glad that you have the opportunity of stepping in and filling that spot this weekend. And I know you have been working your tail off. I know that I have put on a lot of car shows and stuff in the past, and it's a lot of work with anything like that. And for you to tie everything together within 4 weeks of this event is quite an amazing task.
It's been a group effort. Everybody involved. I probably speak to Tim Goolsby at GRE 30 or 40 times a day. Where are we at? What do we need? What are we doing? Ari Kelly, I speak to him on a regular basis. Just what are we at? Where do we need? It's I get back and get to be the cover guy when it works out really good. But there's those groups of people that stand behind me all the way that I think you doesn't work. It's not strong enough words for what they do for me. And but we're going to have a great time. I mean, this is also the first event of the point series that we're putting on. Our second race is May the 13th in Orlando, and our third race is May the 27th in Bradenton. And it goes back just to supporting our local tracks. I wanted to put something together to let everybody know. I mean, within this little radius that we've got of Orlando, Bradenton, Gainesville, we've got three of the baddest facilities there is.
Oh, yeah.
With hands down some of the toughest racers there are. And whoever walks away with this Florida State Bracket Racing Championship, they're going to be able to walk away knowing that they beat some of the best in the world.
Is the format for all of those going to be pretty much the same as what we're going to experience this weekend?
No, this race is just a different one in itself. The format for the rest of the races, outside of the last one, which is the NOFA race in December, all I'm doing is I'm going to Orlando on the 13th. Orlando's going to run their normal points program. We're not changing anything up from their points program. All you're going to do is if you enter that race, you're going to accrue points through JMA on how you do at that event.
Oh, okay.
It's not a JMA race. It is technically an Orlando race. So if you're running Orlando points, you're going to get, it's going to be, in essence, a double points race because you're going to get points for Orlando's points program and the JMA program. And the same thing when we go to Bradenton at the end of the month. It's going to follow the same program. But like I said, I just wanted to get it to where we've got some beautiful facilities. Like I said, Gainesville's home. But what Victor and Wade and that crew have done at Bradenton, that is a first-class facility. And a lot of times we get stuck racing our home tracks and we don't explore out to some of our other facilities and get to experience how great they really are. And that was the driving force behind doing the points program.
Right. Well, and also with our track manager, Jody Kennedy, I think that was another thing that they looked at, or she looked at, was the ability to race at other facilities instead of just Gainesville by running 2 races a month and go ahead and double up Saturdays and Sundays together to free up 3 other weekends for racers to have those opportunities.
Yes.
But I tell you what, I'm really looking forward to it. And I think it's going to be an amazing event. I can't wait. I can't wait to try out this new laptop and make sure it works real well. Amber Matz and Benjamin Matz, they said, thank you, Ben, for this amazing opportunity. So they're really looking forward to coming as well.
But yeah, it's funny you bring up Amber. I've got to call her when you and I get off of here. Amber put a program together at her school. It's, and I may mess up the wording of it, it's reading for racing.
Yes.
She challenged the students at her elementary school to read a book. And we decided that if they read a book They do a book report on it. They take their AR test, whatever they do, depending on their class, their age group. We're going to let the kids and their family into the race this weekend for free.
Oh, that is awesome.
Mom, Dad, and the kids get to come in. And that was just something that I think Vandermeer Speedway out in Colorado does something similar to it. But that was something that Amber wanted to do just to get her kids at the school interested in racing. And I really hope we've got kids running around that place this weekend, but that's just excited that they read a book and they get to show up at a drag race.
Yeah, and you're right about Vandermeer Speedway. Actually, I had Tammy Vandermeer on the podcast probably about a month ago, and we actually talked about that Race to Read program that they do out there for their track, and it's a great opportunity to get kids involved in reading and literacy and give them the opportunity of seeing what we do on the weekend.
Well, I wasn't able to participate in the car day that Amber had at her school, but man, some of the pictures that she showed of those kids with the race cars, the kids are our future of this sport. If we don't keep our kids involved in it, unfortunately, we're getting old, and
that's right.
Our time getting limited with it, so we better get that next generation in to keep the sport that we love so much going.
Well, and I tell you, we have talked about it several times with other guests. At one time the sport was getting pretty well. When you looked up in the stands at national events, most of the people were 30 years and older. We had lost a lot of the younger viewers of coming out and participating and watching those races, but it has took a little bit of a shift, and we are seeing younger people come out in the stands. We are seeing new drivers emerging in the pro ranks. Speaking of one of those is David Quatra. He just got his license this past weekend in Tulsa, being mentored with Erica Anders, and he's going to make his debut in Charlotte. So we are starting to see younger drivers emerge in the pro ranks, and that's what's also going to take for this sport to move forward.
Yes, very much so. And the Junior Dragster program is a great program. Looking to do some stuff exclusively with the Junior Dragster program in the future, if the timing and finances work out great with it. And like I said, just trying to keep this thing that we love so much going.
It's a sport that once you get started, you get bit, and it's like there's no way out. You may quit for a little while, but eventually it will drag you right back to the track and back into the car, and you'll start racing once again. I knew I took.
I helped out with the Pure Speed racing experience at Gainesville this past Saturday, the Doug Foley Pure Speed experience, and I was helping a gentleman. He'd never been in a car like this before in his life. And these are small block Chevrolet, real mild engine, shorty rear engine dragsters. And the gentleman made his first pass, and I think the first pass, they're only allowed to go to like 150 feet. He comes back, and he told me, he said, I had to go get his wife out of the stands. And I was like, okay. So I'll go get his wife out of the stands and come back. And he says, take them the credit card and tell them I will get out of this car when I'm done. And I looked at him and he says, this is the most exhilarating thing I've ever done in my life. But he was hooked after one pass that he just wanted to stay in the car all day long. It is very much a sport that once you do it,
I would have loved to see
spend a lifetime doing it.
I would have loved to see Foley's face when she walked up there with that credit card and told him that.
He just called his wife out and said, take the credit card and tell him I'm going to get out when I can't drive it anymore. And he was so excited. Two gentlemen come up that were blind, and they got to run in the side-by-side car. That was just awesome in itself, seeing a gentleman that can't see go 159 mile an hour. The smile on his face when he got out of the car, he's hooked. Those two young men are hooked on drag racing forever now.
Yeah.
And that is what drag racing does to you.
It does, and it's a good way of deterring your money to go to wasteful things. because you don't have the money to spend on junk anymore. Once you get hooked, it's always about, getting this fixed on the car or upgrading that. And so it actually keeps a lot of young people out of trouble from getting into, drugs and stuff, because, the speed of racing becomes the drug.
Well, on a different note, it wasn't drug related, but Will Highhouse, that guy is a phenomenal baseball player. I'm talking just anybody that ever wants to watch a young man that is great at baseball. Will Highhouse is a great baseball player. Had a great future in it, and he sat in that dragster and, Mom, Dad, do I have to keep on playing baseball? I think I'm going to be a race car driver. And I absolutely love it. Slick Willie is he is the future of the sport. He was headed to baseball stardom, and now he's headed to NHRA stardom.
Yeah, and I tell you, he's a good kid, really good kid, very well mannered. It's yes sir, no sir.
I don't like him. 2 years ago, me and him was the same height, and now he's about 3 foot taller than I am. But I don't like him anymore just because I never experienced that growth spurt that he's experienced over the last 2 years. So he and I fight about every time we see each other because I tell him I'm tired of looking up to him.
Well, he's a good kid, and he came from a good family. They are some real good people. Well, I appreciate you coming on tonight and kind of discussing the race for us. And I tell you what, we're looking forward to it. Come out to Gainesville Raceway. If you're looking for a race this weekend to race in, come on out. Come out Friday night. Take advantage of pulling your car off the trailer and running without the boards off while the boards are off, and see how far you can go.
And we're also going to have the regular test and tune. So, it's a slick and radial test and tune. So, if anybody don't feel confident in that race, it's $35, and they can just do the regular test and tune as well. So, nobody's got to feel like they're obligated to just do this Trailer King race. It's a test and tune if you want scoreboards, or if you don't want scoreboards, it's your option.
Would you mention that test and tune? Do you have to be entered in the race to do the test and tune, or can you just come out and do the test and tune?
It's slick and radial, and you can come out and just do the test and tune.
All right, that's nice to know as well. Well, I do appreciate it. I want to let everybody know if you missed the show, most of it, you can go back in a few moments. You can watch it on Facebook. You can watch it on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is called On the Spot Motorsports with David Rogers. We haven't changed the name. We're probably just going to leave it that way so it ties both of our pages together. But you can catch all the questions, and no telling. Some of those questions that you have may have been answered tonight. Ben, I want to appreciate you again, and I know you probably got a lot of stuff to do before Friday, so I'm going to let you go and get to it. I know I've been hearing the thunder in the background on your phone, so let everybody know Ben's been standing outside to make sure that he had good signal to come on. So if you heard some rumblings, that's because he's standing out there in the lightning. We don't need him to get hit.
I hope these clouds rain themselves dry tonight and get out of the way so we got a beautiful weekend.
Amen. Well, Ben, I appreciate you, and I will see you Friday.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. That was Ben Whiting, promoter of the Gatortown Throwdown. And I'm sorry that we couldn't have him on video, but, you know, with the weather and stuff, it was interrupting really bad. And he was freezing up. And we just thought the best route to go was to just do a video, a phone call in tonight. But don't forget to join us tomorrow night. We're actually going to have Summer Richardson joining us, top alcohol driver, and we're going to talk about her transformation, moving up into the top alcohol ranks, and what her expectations are on the rest of the season. So please join us tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Again, thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.